Hello friends, welcome to TD Homestead. Today is Sunday, May 4th, 2025. We're going to do a quick little garden update, and then I'm going to get a couple of trees planted in ground. So right here in front of us, this first bed, we got tomatoes, a couple of pepper plants here on this end. It's California Wonders. They're coming along nicely. And the tomato plants are looking good, but they need to be staked badly. So this big beef here, these two, they're looking great, but as you see, they need to be staked. And then these two are Homestead 24. And then here we did have two Krista tomatoes, but something come along and clipped this one off about an inch below the soil. I don't know what it was, some kind of insect or something. So we replaced it with a Homestead 24. And then we took that clipped off piece and I stuck it in a bucket of water, and it was pretty wilted, so I wasn't sure it was going to make it or not, but it actually did. So I'm gonna have to get that planted soon. I'll show you that in a second. Then on the ends are basil. We still have a couple more basil plants that we need to get planted, as well as some couple of tomatoes and a couple of pepper plants. We'll get them eventually. So here's our peas. These are our sweet peas, and on the other side of the bed is one row of sugar snap peas, and these haven't been trellised or anything, so they're just kind of sprawling everywhere. These are supposed to be bush here. The sugar snap peas were supposed to need trellising, but at this point we're just going to let them do what they're doing and see what happens. I did notice, looks like there's a little pea pod trying to form right there for us, so we'll just see how things go with that. Right here's our Prague, and it's put on lots of new growth since the spring. We need to try to get some cuttings and try to root some cuttings, and maybe even try to graft it, because we don't want to just have one of those. And our onions, they're not doing terrible, but they're starting to flower. This one here is actually going to open up. So I don't know how good the onions are going to do. There's a few of them started to get a little bit of size on them. And then these greens, we haven't been harvesting the way we should have. This started bolting, so we need to get all this stuff in the middle out of there pretty much and come with something else. And then over here is our potatoes. These were the nicer potatoes if you watched the potato planting video, but they all came from leftover kitchen potatoes. And then these were the shriveled up ones, both that bucket and then in that nursery pot. And they're all looking pretty good. I think we got those planted on February 1st, so won't be that much longer and we'll be able to harvest. A couple figs in the back, and then that's our nectarine, leprechaun nectarine. Looks like it's going to hold on to a couple, which is good, because our in-ground orchard, most of the stone fruits have dropped from most of those trees. And then even here, our little bonanza peach, it's holding on to several as well. So that's interesting. We're not going to go through all this citrus because I need to get over here and get busy planting. We'll do another update video on these maybe later this week. Carambola's fully leafed out now. You remember that was looking like twigs if you saw it in some of the early spring videos. But I figured I'd show you this. This was the Krista tomato plant that got broke off an inch below the ground. I stuck it in this bucket of water, and you see all those roots growing from it now. But whatever cut it off, it cut it off real completely even. You see right there. So I can get that planted now because it's done perked up nicely, and it'll grow some tomatoes. So might as well walk over here and look at the pineapple. It's coming along nicely. See some stuff with a little purple hue here on the edges of it now, right here. So yeah, excited to see that. But with that, I got to get over here and get a couple of trees planted. We've had some issues over here in the stone fruit orchard. It's going to cause us to have to replace some trees. So one of them's going to be the chainsaw, and we're not planting it right here where it's sitting. I just wanted to look at it while it was next to the other in-ground chainsaw we already have. You see how much nicer that looks than that one. It's a lot greener. This one's more of a light colored green, but so this one right here in the container that we're about to plant came from McKenzie Farms last year, and that one came from Madison Citrus Nursery. So those are the chainsaw mandarins. And then right here I have my, well, we did have that Violetta de Bordeaux, but it did not survive the winter. So I have this brown turkey fig. I'm gonna go ahead and plant it there now. So that's going to go there, and then the chainsaw is actually going to go over here. My Blenheim apricot, I don't know what killed it, but put on lots of new growth last year. It was planted in October 2023, or November actually of 2023. Grew nicely last year, but for whatever reason, it started to grow at the beginning of this year and then died on me. All that growth down there at the bottom is from the rootstock, but we're going to dig that up, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a chainsaw right there and be done with it. Since the other chainsaw did so well over the winter, I'm going to go ahead and go with that. Like I told you, all our stone fruit trees like this nectarine that's in the ground, they're growing well, but most of them have lost their most of their fruit. The only one that held on to a lot is that big seed grown peach over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and dig these holes, and then I'll come back and show you what they look like in ground. All right, there's the chainsaw planted in ground. Gonna need to change the labeling on that little sign that was there for the Blenheim apricot, but it should start taking off now that it's in ground. Hopefully by next year we can start getting a decent amount of mandarins. We'll just have to see on that. And then over here is the brown turkey. I went ahead and picked that thicker one to be the main trunk, and I tilted it a little bit so that was straighter. I kind of need to do something with this Olympian and probably brace this up with a stake or something like that, trim off some of that from around the bottom of it. But anyway, there's 2 less trees in containers to take care of. Let's take a quick look at our pomegranate while we're here, and they are loaded, and some of them look like they're already starting to swell up a little bit. As you can see, that one's loaded down. This one's even got more. This tree's probably at least 10 feet tall. That tallest branch up there is probably 12 feet tall. And when you look online, they say they get about 6 feet tall. So that one over there, that's probably about how tall it is. And see over here, lots of nice blossoms on it. That one right there is probably starting to turn into a pomegranate for us. But besides being tasty fruit, it's a pretty nice little ornamental, I think. But anyway, with that, we're going to go ahead and let you go. Until next time, be kind and enjoy your day.